Welcome to a very random video where I show you a bunch of things that we did in the holidays. Our first thing was that we went to visit the lovely Eleanor and Ruby. I'm going to tell you about her in a minute, but here are her contact details and I will also link them below. So we wanted to show you a little bit of what we did in the holidays while Rach was here. So this first video is where we went to the absolutely beautiful Lisa's place from Eleanor and Ruby. I'm going to link her at the bottom. This is her gorgeous studio. So Lisa is based in Toowoomba and she does have times when you can go to her studio. You can sit and stitch, you can purchase things. She has some open studios and she also has the most stunning garden. It is the cutest house in the world. She has all those vintagey things that we love. She's an absolute collector and very much aligned with the types of things that Rach, Juju and I love. So we really enjoyed visiting her for a day up in Toowoomba. So Toowoomba is around, for us it took almost 2 hours to get to. It kind of is inland from Brisbane, west of Brisbane. And we went up there for the day and we had a sit and stitch with her and absolutely adored meeting Lisa for the first time and her beautiful husband Sarge, who's actually French. Sounds Australian, but he's from France. So we had the most wonderful time and I'm showing you some of those things there. They're not there anymore because we purchased them. Rach got those 2 packs. And their things are, a lot of their things that they have are from France because Sarge is from France. They do travel there quite often. And Lisa and Sarge get to go on some fantastic buying trips. They find lots of lovely vintage textiles and antiques and different bits and pieces. So this is a look inside her gorgeous little studio. And in a minute, Alfie, what are you doing? Sorry, that's my puppy. In a minute, Alfie, come here. In a minute, I'm going to show you just a little photograph of us. You won't see us in it, but the table, we were working on some fun things. So, yeah, we're just having a quick look around the studio, so enjoy. So this is the 4 of us. This was our little setup on her table. I must say, I only got a little bit done, not a lot of stitching, a lot of chatting. No, she's the most beautiful person, Lisa. So that little table had Mum, Rach, Lisa and myself. We loved our day with you, Lisa, and I'm going to link you at the bottom because I really think that people will appreciate following you and seeing the great things that they can get from you. So this next image is a few of us hanging out at Corinne's in her amazing craft room. That craft room's bigger than my bedroom, just saying. Anyway, her craft room's sensational. So we've got Tia, Rach, Corinne, and lovely Dawn Meldrum. And then here we are at Corinne's retreat, and we had a bit of show and tell. This block is from Karen from Railway Cottage Studio, and Karen makes the most wonderful slow stitch quilts. They're stunning. It was the first kind of slow stitch quilt that I saw at the sort of Sydney Quilt Fair. Was one of Karen's, and this is one that she's currently working on, and she generously gave her time to explain to everyone how she goes about bringing her quilts together, which often start from a single textile piece like a tapestry that brings together her ideas. So just wonderful, the things that we got to see at Corinne's. So this is myself, Colette in the middle, and Karen, and we're all teachers, so we connected really well. So this is us again in Corinne's craft room, but this time we had our beautiful friend, stalker girl Vicki. Hey Vicki! Coming to visit, and I don't actually show much of Corinne's workshop just because I actually wasn't very well that week. I kind of struggled through the week. I got better a little bit more towards the end, but really I thought it was important that Corinne showed her class, and I'm going to link her video at the bottom just in case you want to watch it. So we loved your week, Corinne, and I highly recommend if you have an opportunity to go on one of Corinne's retreats. She does lovely work. It's lots of fun, and there's lots of surprises along the way. And a few of us at Corinne's retreat, including our gorgeous stalker girl, Vicki, and her husband, Paul. So now we move on into a week of workshops that we held at the Made by Me workshop studio, which is in St. Peter's in Sydney, run by the absolutely amazing Rebecca. So this is us set up for our first 3-day workshop, which was a junk journal with a slow stitched cover, and this was one of the kits that we gave them. There's lots of bits and pieces that they got to play with. That's something about our workshops, is that we always want you to get lots of things so that you have options and you come away with the things you need to finish off your projects. So these are our kits. And then we also set up a table for each workshop just with some of our work on it, some of Mum's, Juju's, Rachel's and myself, to give people ideas of things they can do. And yeah, just for ideas really. In a minute, you're going to see Rachel's project that she worked on at Corinne's retreat. So this is it here in the top right hand corner. I'm going to zoom in a bit further on it. This is the gorgeous box that Rach completed. She made it for Mum, and that's what we did at Corinne's workshop. But obviously everyone did different things. Rach and I we never completely stick to the brief. We're a little bit naughty and we went a little bit off project, but we did still do houses and birds and things like that. So this is just me wandering around our first workshop, just having a look at all the beautiful creative things that people are doing. So this was a junk journal workshop, so we have a mix of papers and textiles, and I just go around the table and I'm filming each person as they're working on their amazing junk journals. So I'm just coming around to the other side of the table, and probably the best thing about this week was being able to come together with the most beautiful bunch of people who all have similar interests and ideas and passions, and that we can share those kinds of things together. So get ideas from each other. And we had some fantastic ideas come out of the classes from people coming with just different thoughts on things, and that was probably the best part about our workshops. So this is just a photo of Rach on the left, Mum in the middle, and I'm on the right in the grey coat. Yeah, I just really like this photo that someone took at the workshop. So we're not really people that like to put our faces on camera too much, but I do know that, we do feel like we know a lot of you really well, and sometimes it's just nice to put a face to a name. So these are our wonderful participants from our first workshop, the junk journaling workshop, which went for 3 days, and such a great collective group of women. On one of the mornings, the last morning, we went out to the sewing basket. We went to the one that's out at Newington. That's my favourite one that I like to go to. Just a small group of us, mostly people from interstate or from overseas who, they hear us talk about it and they were super keen to come. And boy, I'll tell you what, it didn't disappoint. Here are a few images of the different things that you can find out at Newington. And all of us came away with an absolute basket load of yummy bits and pieces, like amazing vintage textiles, fabrics, threads, sewing baskets, buttons. Like you can see, we all found fantastic stuff. So I'm just showing you all the things: vintage patterns, wools, lots and lots of fabrics. Sometimes they're just small cuts. Mostly they're at least a fat quarter. half meters. Sometimes there's bolts of fabric so you can get more. And these are our lovely friends that came out with us. And here we are with our shopping baskets, and we all got a truckload. So then this is moving on to our second workshop. Actually, is this our second? No, I think we're still on our first. This is still our junk journal workshop. I'm still filming. I think this was earlier on. I might have my videos out of order. Yep, I'm pretty sure this is still the junk journal workshops. Anyway, this is earlier on before they've got their books together. And I think probably a great thing about this workshop, the first day we actually worked on the cover, the slow stitch cover. And then, you want to keep working on it because it does take a while. But on the second day, we definitely got everyone to actually put their book together. And that's when I feel like people get really excited, is when you put your book together and you're like, I've just made a book. And they've bound their book, they've made their signatures, and they've put it together, and it starts to become real. So this is where we're at this point in time, was where people had their books together and they're embellishing and they're coming up with ideas. And what they got to play with is lots and lots of Rachel's beautiful printed papers and textiles. They had some of her textiles as well. So look at these wonderful, wonderful books. And then on the last day, we got to do some extra embellishing, add some extra features, and I don't think anyone walked away with it completely finished, because you can just keep adding and adding and adding and adding. And you often get asked the question, how do you know when it's done? Well, you kind of don't. For me, it's just a feeling. So these were the great people, a lovely group shot of the people that made the junk journals. And I'm just going to zoom around, and we're looking at the covers, the slow stitch covers. Okay, and again, they're works in progress, but they're just starting, and they're all different, and they all got to use a beautiful piece of Rachel's fabric. Most of them picked the linen. They had linen and cotton, and they're just embellishing them. So there's a lot of stitching on these, and then for some people there's more to come. So enjoy having a look. Just look at how pretty all these gorgeous covers are. They're so bright and vibrant. And as you look at each one, I mean, look at this one. This one was just such beautiful stitching on the front. I made it turn it back to the front because I just wanted to show you, sorry, just zoomed in, the detail on that flower. And then the back, obviously, still a work in progress. But they were just so wonderful how they were so different. And people had such different ways of putting together their covers. And I just can't talk highly enough of Rachel's new fabric collection, which she hasn't released yet, but I think she's about to. She's only just got back to Italy, so I think she's about to release it. So do keep an eye on her Etsy store, because you'll be able to get some of these fabrics that everyone used for their covers. So a bit more show and tell. This stunning quilt, which I believe is called the Sweet Sunday quilt, I think, or Sweet Sunday quilt, was designed by Treehouse Textiles, and one of our participants had made this quilt. The beautiful thing about it was all the vintage textiles that she included in this quilt. I believe this pattern came out, I don't know, maybe about 8 years ago. So if you're looking for it, I'll link Treehouse Textiles, but it's an older pattern, about 8 years ago, and it incorporated a lot of vintage textiles into the blocks. And we just stood there for ages spotting all the different embroideries. It was really fun. So absolutely love seeing that quilt, and love it when people bring their show and tells. So firstly, please ignore my big green sort of mess of yarn there. It was a beautiful hand-dyed yarn that I'd brought because I thought one of the girls in the class would love it. But it was quite tangled, so I was in the process of untangling and giving our little bundle to people that wanted it. So this is our textile journal workshop. So this was a 2-day workshop. Could have easily have been a whole week. I mean, I could have hung out with these girls for a week and all their beautiful work. And again, it was just a lovely community. This was a much bigger class. For the junk journaling, we needed a bit more space. And I think we had 14 in the class. Then this one, we extended this one to, we actually had 24, but 4 people couldn't come. So it ended up being 20, which was a great number, and lots of fun stuff going on here. So working on the insides of their textile journals and finding where they wanted to put bits and pieces and decorating and thread painting and all the fun stuff that we do when we slow stitch. And then, of course, they got lots of vintage textiles to play with, vintage embroideries, doilies, linens, that kind of thing. But then lots of Rachel's amazing printed fabrics, which I just think, okay, I'm biased, she's my sister, but I just think they're stunning. Like I've not seen anything quite like them in the exact way that Rach and her husband Steffi designed them. Transforming their papers into textiles was just a great idea, and it was something that I think really made these journals so special. So look at the gorgeous embroidery that you can do, and little fabric and textile collections, little motifs in the corners, little layering up collages, just fun. We had so much fun. So this is one that we're looking through. So I hope everyone enjoyed our classes. The other thing that blows me away is the generosity of people that come to our classes. So people like, this is Fiona's. That's a Fiona envelope. That's our new thing. That's what we've learned. That's the Fiona envelope. So the generosity of people bringing little bundles of fabrics to give to people, giving out little packets of buttons or whatever they did. There were people that were just so generous that were giving out bits and pieces to everyone who came to the class. So, they'd bring 20-something of the same thing. It might be some hand-dyed threads and it's just a thing. It's not something I've seen before, except in these kinds of slow stitch classes. Now, it definitely happened at Corinne's retreat. People were giving things out. And then it happened at both of our workshops as well. And I just think that's so much fun to share and to receive things from other people. And then you can put them into your textile journal or your junk journal, and it holds those memories for you. So we didn't do it at Corinne's retreat. I just didn't even realise. I didn't know that people did that. But next time Corinne will be there. Hopefully next year I can come again in the holidays, and I'll be ready to give out a little surprise to every person. So again, I'm just wandering around the room and we're looking at what people are working on. It's always good as I'm walking around the room to see people flip over their pages so you can see the things that they're doing. Even though everyone did have different pages, I wouldn't say that they were the same. But the base kit with the textiles that Rach gave and I gave were similar. I did give different sort of textiles. They did have different textiles. And we also had big buckets of like a bucket of scrap fabric so they could pull out more things to get things in their own style. We had lots of perle cottons, stranded cottons, and I brought out an abundance of hand-dyed wools. Now, they were definitely popular because I didn't go home with so many. So guys, I had to go and restock. And if you want to know where I get them from, I usually buy them mostly from Little Woolly Makes, which is an online store in Australia. And there are a few other places. Some of them were hand-dyed ones that I'd done myself in a Fleur Woods class. But generally, I get most of mine from Little Woolly Makes. Also, the Skane Sisters in Sydney is good too. So if you've watched me before or recently, you might have seen that our mum turned 80 recently, and we had the idea to get people to make hearts for Mum's birthday. And this is a heart that arrived during our week. It had been brought up especially from Melbourne, took up a very large part of someone's suitcase, and this absolutely stunning heart came from our auntie. Our auntie lives down just outside of Melbourne on the Mornington Peninsula, and she is the most phenomenally creative person. So she has completely made this whole wired structured heart that has been has been decorated, not elaborated, has been decorated and embellished with stunning features. Now, there are beaded flowers and hearts and like wrapped, thread around the wire and beading. This is what our auntie is like. We just wish that we lived closer because we just want to hang out with her and create. All of this she has constructed from scratch. In fact, my auntie's hilarious. She told me she cut out the little metal flowers and the hearts, etc., from the dog food tins. So from the tin. She's so funny. She's so like that. But Mum received it while we were at the studio because one of our participants so kindly brought it up for Mum. And I just cannot tell you how stunning this was. Auntie Sue, if you ever watch my video, we need to sit down and we need to make one of these things together because I just want to play and have fun. But I just thought you'd really enjoy seeing it, and it looks absolutely wonderful on Rebecca from Made by Me workshop. That's where we hosted our workshops, on her cabinet. So Made by Me workshop is based in St. Peter's in Sydney. It's really easy to get to. And as you can see, it's a wonderful studio with a gorgeous atmosphere. This is a shot of our second class who have just gone through the workshop making their slow stitch journals. And now you can see I'm filming. I asked them all to open up their favourite page. So we're having a look at the favourite page that everyone made during the workshop. So Rebecca is a wonderful host. She is just the nicest person in the world, and we really enjoyed spending the week with her. I'd actually been to her studio a couple of times to do a couple of classes. I did a Pauline Franklin class and I did an Amy Jones embroidery class. Or I'm trying to think, I've done 3 Amy Jones's classes. I feel like maybe I did 2 at Made by Me workshop and 1 was somewhere else. But it's such a wonderful space. And Rebecca actually, she actually teaches quite a few classes herself. She does these great soap making classes. She does resin coasters, resin pours, artworks and boards and things like that, resin jewellery. Needle punch as well she does. And I know that she's really keen to get a lot more textile classes. So I'll link her again at the bottom. And I do encourage you, if you are Sydney based or out of Sydney or you want to come to Sydney, go and check out her website and just see if there's one of the workshops that appeals to you. And they're really well, I think, reasonably priced. Sometimes, you want to go to a workshop, but they're quite expensive. And I understand that because there are some phenomenal artists that we're trying to learn from, and they rightly so should charge a certain amount when you're an established artist. But then some of these workshops, they're just really affordable and they're worth going to. So, yep, I encourage you. I love doing workshops, even if I know that I can actually do the things that they're teaching in the workshop, like some of the stitching and stuff. I want to go for the ideas and the inspiration. You're about to see a little snippet from the news. Sorry about the quality of the filming and sound. I filmed the TV.
Popular daytime drama in the US for more than 50 years, The Young and the Restless has launched celebrity careers, scored a bunch of awards and kept viewers locked into the rivalry between the Newmans and the Abbotts. And for more, long-standing cast member Beth Magland, who plays Tracy Abbott, joins me live on the desk. Beth, thanks for joining. It's so exciting to have you here.
Thank you. It's great to see you again, and I'm so happy to be here.
We met on the red carpet at the Daytime Emmys last year, and we kind of manifested that you would come to Australia.
I'm so glad you did.
And here you are. You've come all the way down under, not just because it's your daughter's birthday,
yes,
but you're an avid quilter, and you've already done a 2-day slow stitch workshop.
Oh my gosh, you know everything about me. That's exactly why we came. First of all, I want to say that our trip to Australia, it's my first time here. the biggest, most significant thing that I'm taking away is how kind and generous and lovely the people that live here are. We haven't met every one of you, but everyone I have met has just been fantastic. And so we signed up for this 2-day course. It's 2 women that I follow that are just the gurus of this slow stitching movement, and they're from here, from Australia. The Roxy Creations girls, Roxy Journal Stitching girls, Rachel and Sarah, and their mom who just turned 80, so she had a birthday too. My daughter turned 30, so I said, "What do you want for your birthday?" And I thought she was going to say an iPhone, and she said, "No, I want to travel," and so off we came.
So I just wanted to show you that. So two of our most beautiful participants in our workshop who travelled the furthest from the US were Beth Maitland and her daughter Emmy. And I just wanted to say that we loved our time with you and we loved getting to know you, and you are the most beautiful people who we now consider to be our friends, and we have enjoyed having this slow stitch journey with you in the past week. And we loved all our other participants too. Many of them are our friends. In fact, you're all our friends. There's never enough friends, right? And we hope that we do get to stitch with you again soon. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing our past couple of weeks, the last 2 weeks of my holidays where Rach has been here from Italy, and some of the things that we've done. And we hope to see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.